We find the most low-key hotel we can. It's not a complete shithole.
The train continues a little further, or you're staying the night?
I think we got to stay the night. If Nick arranged for us to meet somebody there, I think we need to have some good faith there.
So check into the motel. I'll fly up to the window.
All right, you find a low rate, low profile hotel. Yeah, you've made a friend with that cat. Wow. The guy behind the counter is a pimply faced teenager, maybe no more than 17 years old, with real greasy hair and a mullet.
Which means he's actually like 8.
We getting one room? We getting one room, or it's a dive? We're getting our own rooms.
Welcome to the No Hope Hotel. How many rooms would you like?
Does he have a gun? Is there a gun visible?
You don't see one, but you'd have to do an intuition check.
I'm not there. I'm outside.
Oh, right.
We would like two adjoining rooms, preferably with the door that opens between them.
We got a hotel here. We got doors that go outside to the driveway. In case you haven't observed that fact. Yeah. No, we could put two together for you. I can get you two that are side by side.
I guess that'll do. How much would that be?
How many hours are you staying?
We're leaving in the morning. We're leaving in the morning.
All right. 8 o'clock?
Sure.
Fine, then. 8 o'clock departure.
Is there a continental breakfast? Can we get a wake-up call, please?
Yeah, I'll kick on your door.
Thanks, please.
We got vending machines outside. You can find something there.
Excellent.
We're not that kind of hotel, sir.
You have a pizza place in town?
Pizza?
Is
Pizza? Is that Italian food? No, sir, we do not have that kind of food in
Do you
town.
have any restaurants in town where we could pick up food and bring it back here to eat?
There's a diner. You could probably find some food at the diner.
Excuse me, son. Are you giving me attitude? Because there's only two things that come from Texas. There's steers and queers, my friend, and you do not look like a steer to me.
He looks at you, blinking. I'll have to remember that. That's pretty catchy. Huh. Now you may have just inadvertently invented a slur. Congratulations, Whisperer. Well done. I think that might be minus karma. Yeah.
Minus karma?
You have just helped detracted from the equal rights movement. Well done, buddy. No.
Why do you think homosexuals are just now getting the right to marry? Well, blacks have been able to marry for 20 years.
It's all your fault. Okay, so because he assumes you're taking out how many rooms? 2 rooms for the night. That's going to run you about $15.
Whoa.
It's outrageous.
15?
Yeah.
I give him 20 and say, forget he ever saw us. This is over.
He raises his eyes in surprise. Yes, sir. Absolutely. The wake-up call, 8 o'clock. We'll be seeing you then. Or will we? We won't be seeing you, right? And he just pointed out he has an internal clock. Okay. You check into the hotel. It is...
You need more to talk about.
And you're going to make the beds perfect. No way there. Android style.
How much does he cost? And he's making our beds?
Yeah, multi-million-dollar...
Does anybody want to run out and pick up dinner for us?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, no, you won't. Me and my son will go.
Sounds good.
All right. It's in walking distance. The two of you make it to the diner.
I want barbecue.
It's a really dead spot. There's one guy.
Texas, you think they don't serve barbecue?
He's got a baseball cap on. He's a trucker. You can see his truck parked outside in the parking lot. He seems like he's eating some cherry pie, sitting at a booth. And there is a woman who looks to be about 50, but you wonder really if she's like 30. And she's smoking, and she's got that smoker's voice.
Is it sea bass? Kick his ass, sea bass.
Hey there, darling. How can I help you? What would you like?
What's good? What's on the menu?
Everything's good, but the chicken fried steak is great.
Don't forget, you got to take 5 minutes to so that's what
We gotta bring some food back to the rest of our family back at the motel.
Aren't you a darling? Wait.
You spit in the cup and wash it out.
Maybe you'd like a hamburger. Chicken fried steak's good too. could top that off with a sundae.
We'll take 4 chicken fried steaks, a meatloaf, 5 meatloafs, 5 chicken fried steaks, 3 hamburgers, 2 hot dogs.
And
maybe get a pie for dessert then?
Hey, just remember that the tank is really hungry.
That's why I ordered so much food.
Remember, 4 whole fried chickens and a Coke.
We'll take
And some dry white
we'll
toast.
take 4 shakes and what do you want there, buddy?
I think I got it up there. That sounds good, man.
She raises her eyebrows. She says, no offense, but could I see the color of your coin before we put an order in of this size? What are you feeding, a baseball team?
Manly family.
That's a lot of questions to ask, but we got a big family. We're coming all the way down from the East Coast.
Look, I just want to see what your coin is.
No problem.
Have you got the money?
How much is it? How much is it gonna cost us?
It's going to cost you $10.
Oh boy, $10. Yeah, that's about my money.
Okay. She looks suitably impressed. She says, one moment, honey. She walks towards the back. Hey, Hal! We need 5 crispy ostriches, 2 burgers on a bun, and a white frosty, and pie. That okay? You're in the back. It'll just be a few minutes.
All right, look at the other people, or the other person who's here.
He's a grizzled-looking truck driver, slowly eating his pie, but now he seems to be paying a lot of attention to you.
I look at his truck. Is there anything that fits in the, is there anything outstanding about that?
It's just an 18-wheeler. Just a typical Mack truck. Not a Mack truck, but just a traditional truck. Doesn't look unusual.
Make some small talk. What brings you here?
We're not trying to draw attention to it.
He looks up at you, frowns, says, job. You got more of that money you can give my way? It's like you're giving it out for free.
Just to keep my family. Long vacation.
So you're from the Northeast, huh?
That's about right.
You're one of those Yankees.
Well, we're looking to help out our family from down south.
I don't like Yankees.
Me neither.
Think they're better than everybody.
I like the Red Sox.
That's Boston, isn't it?
Red Sox? No, I'm talking about the Georgia Red Sox. The Farm League.
If you don't mind, I'd like to eat my pie in peace.
By all means.
Goes back to eating his pie. You get the feeling he does not like you.
Sound like me.
After a few minutes, Alice comes back out. She's got bags, paper bags. They're full of steaming food. It smells delicious. You make your purchase. She wishes you well.
And I
And
ask her just real quickly, what's the quickest way to get to, if one were to be traveling towards the area of Roswell?
Roswell?
Roswell? How would she suggest the quickest way to do it?
You're driving out to the desert, huh?
Well, we hear there's some nice cactus out there.
I thought you said you had family in Texas.
We do. We're visiting them, and we have to go out to Roswell.
Right. Well, you could take 10 to the post, and then from the post follow Elm, and then if you take Elm, you can go north on Conson. Conson will take you a while. Just head west. Setting sun. There's only 2 big roads out those ways.
Has
And-
anybody else traveled through here going towards that way?
No. Not a lot of business in Roswell.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
Are you Southern now, too? I thought you came from New England.
Well, I like your accent.
Oh. Well, you all have a good day now.
Give her a tip.
A tipper. Don't eat yellow snow, man. And if whatever you do not breathe underwater.
She frowns at you, completely perplexed. You've completely just made this woman
What is the snow thing you keep
confused.
Don't smoke, or it's not.
So you make it back to the hotel.
Yes.
The food is delicious.
Fantastic.
It is authentic, great Southern food.
I lived in a year of life.
It's full of butter. It's full of cream. It's full of all these ingredients that you no longer have because there's artificial sweeteners and flavors. It's perhaps the finest chicken fried steak you've ever had in your
Let me
lives.
help you with any food we eat.
The milkshake is a little bit melted, but by the time you get it, it is quite good. What's that?
Does he bring all your voice to the
No,
yard?
I don't. Not those.
Okay,
Looking
so
out the window to see if that guy was following us by any chance, or
it seems clear.
I think,
Everything seems
people
clear.
know Nick knows her hand, we should sit a guard and watch.
You need to sleep.
I declare you.
Andy the android does not need to sleep.
Bird it is.
I'll recharge.
Okay. Are you doing anything else tonight?
We got to talk about making a plan of what we're going to do when we get there.
I'll call it
Pull the
tomorrow.
wires out.
Figure out a plan tomorrow.
Sleep on it.
All right, we'll sleep on it.
And Andy the android, I just want to remind you that you, because you decided to spend your 1 year in the vortex learning and researching everything about temporal mechanics, quantum mechanics, just keep in mind some of that information that you are now aware of, that I emailed you earlier in the week. Okay.
So, hey, Andy. Everybody seems to look older than they actually are. Is that a matter of time, or is that a matter of temporal flux thing?
Or something unrelated to something related. We don't know.
Well, since he knows a lot about time travel and stuff.
You guys can make a reason check. That's with a green.
The intuition.
Reason.
Oh, I mean, it's 80.
I'm food. 100.
100. The reason why people look older than their age is because they were far less healthy. They were smoking all the time, and they age more quickly. That's why.
Surgeon General was right.
Aren't you glad you wasted that on this combat role?
Okay, so you all go to sleep, except for the android who's keeping watch. The night passes uneventfully. In the middle of the night, Brian Baird the Bat feels a curious itching sensation on his nose. He wakes to find a cockroach on his face.
At least it wasn't your crowd.
Who eat it?
But other than that, the night passes uneventful, and it gets to be about what time did you want to wake them, Andy the android?
7:30.
Okay, it's now 7:30. Your timer goes off internally. You know what time it is.
Is it crack
So
actually
we
going?
look out before Acme Boy kicks their door in?
Sure.
Okay, what would you like to do now?
I guess
Eat breakfast.
we'll go to... Can't get breakfast in here.
I could be the burn victim. I could just come in. I gotta give you some money. I'll come in on my own.
We take him in, we take the seat back. Go to the diner, take the seat back.
You eating breakfast?
We bury him in the back.
Okay. There's just a couple of people in the diner. They look like locals. They don't look like truck drivers. You don't notice any cars in the parking lot, so perhaps they walk there. And Alice is still on shift. And she comes over. She recognizes the 6-year-old, and she recognizes the
10
Whisperer.
years old.
Oh, you look 10 years old? Sorry. And she says, "Hey, welcome back. Is this the rest of your family?" "Oh. Oh, my. What happened to this one?" "Oh, it wasn't a meatloaf, was it? I hope you feel better soon."
Thanks for bringing that.
No, he was just born that way.
I thought you'd talk loud for Mike. I'm sorry.
She passes out menus. It's the type of thick, greasy, Southern-style food. They've got grits.
You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
There's
Mike looks at the menu and says yes.
bacon, pork with gravy and mashed potatoes.
It's weird that
There's
the Greeks don't eat it.
there's flapjacks.
Yes.
Can
I have a gyro? They sell American diners?
Traditional, good Southern-style food, all available for you. You order breakfast, I assume?
Bacon and eggs.
Oh, yes.
Oh, seasonal food. I mean, I'll probably end up eating half as much as Max.
What can I get for y'all?
Take 2 eggs over easy,
Mhm.
hash browns, boiled up potatoes. That'll do.
Very good. And you, sir?
Eggs, over easy, flapjacks, bacon, hash browns.
Excellent. You want that bacon extra crispy?
Yes, please.
All right, very good.
That's like your face?
And you, big, strong, strapping guy, what would you like? He looks to you, Max.
I'm
Or
going
she
to have
looks to you,
3
Max.
orders of grits. Make those cheese grits with some extra butter on them.
All right.
I'm going to have 2 orders of the sausage gravy and biscuits.
Mm.
Can I get a dozen eggs scrambled?
You got hunger, don't you?
He wants a grand slam platter 3 times.
What do you got, like a hollow leg right there? Where you gonna fit all that food?
Oh, don't you worry now, ma'am. I can eat all this food.
I'd like to see you try. All right, then. Anything else?
Yeah, bring me a stack of pancakes, too.
You got it. Orange juice, coffee?
The scrawny little ugly guy is going to pay for everything.
All right. And
I just start pulling out the bills.
she looks to Triple J.
I pull out a
Turkey bacon, egg white, spinach, and a
Maybe get
decaf.
a Swiss chard in there.
A decaf cappuccino.
I'm sorry, but we don't have
Oh,
any
I'm
of that.
kidding you. Let me have the biggest steak you have.
All right,
And a
that.
cup of coffee.
And some eggs,
Relax.
steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs on top, please.
All right, very good. And you, little
You
boy?
have a catering menu?
No, but we can.
I'll just take some cake.
We can have the cook put a happy face on there for you.
I'm ordering them for Mikey, so that's really...
You know, got to keep an eye on this one. He'll be a lady killer when he gets bigger.
It's gonna take a while.
But she has powers, baby.
I put a 20 on the table just so that she knows.
She disappears.
They told me about how, she wanted to see the money first put the order.
You get the impression you are now her favorite customers, that she probably
Thanks, Andy.
has a lot of faith for you, just because of the order you put in last time. After a brief pause, maybe 10 minutes, the food starts coming out,
15 minutes.
Starts coming out.
but there's a lot of it, and it just keeps coming and coming. She's got TV trays set up and special platters so that it can all be sort of set up, and it's not like the restaurant's that big.
Well, I figured, Max would just like, as the plate comes in, just upend it.
And I have to say, it is delicious. It is rich and creamy, salty, the best steak you've ever had.
I wonder how healthy this been drinking this shit.
And you feel incredibly sated and satisfied. And even at the end, even Max feels good. And you can't help but fight back the urge to let out a nice, satisfying belch. But maybe you do manage to keep that in. And
Behind the hand, low.
she comes to you and she says, well, I didn't think that you'd have that much space in your stomach, especially after the dinner you had last night. I'm going to be telling everybody about the food that you ate. That was amazing.
Hey, we're not that special.
We are not the droids you're looking for.
Well, I hope that you all have a nice trip to Roswell. I hope that you enjoy your trip. And remember what I said about the desert. Take plenty of water with you. There's not a lot of service stations out there.
Is there would there be a payphone around that we could utilize?
Oh, yeah, there's one at the gas station across the street.
Thank you very much.
Y'all have a nice day now. Mm.
I buy. Do they sell water there or no?
They don't sell water bottles.
Mike, it's an old school diner. They got the candy right out by the counter.
They have a soda machine that sells Coke out front.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a case of
There's
Coke.
no Coke with cane sugar.
They don't have cases, but you can put in coins to your heart's content and then get a
No, I'm sorry. That's what I realized they didn't have cases back in 1950s. I meant quarters in the machine to
not a quarter. It's a nickel.
get the glass bottles out.
Yeah. Your Coke's gonna cost you a nickel.
Hey, we can save it and then do a nickel return later.
I punch Bad Boy in the back of the head and tell him to give me all the change he has.
Brian Baird, you feel a pounding in the back of your head as Max asks and demands lots of change from you. Nickels.
I'm sorry, I seem to be all out of change. Here, go break a 20.
I go inside and ask her for $2 worth of nickels.
She happily complies, gives you $2 worth of nickels. Astonished.
I'm going to step out of the game for a minute. It's all about.
I take the other $18 and put it in my pocket.
Yeah, and we're finally understanding. It took us 4 years to get there. We didn't start to get it until Savage Worlds, where Bob is really bringing it home. It's the journey too. It's not just.
You don't want to get there and do it. You want to just enjoy it while you're...
I got stuff planned for you. You haven't even started yet. I'm like waiting for you guys to get to the main event.
What else would you like for breakfast? Oh, wait a minute, no, scratch that. No, I want the... Sounds like a real life...
All right, so we go across the street. We call Nick.
What do you think?
Mike gets a soda.
Breakfast? Yeah, breakfast sounds good.
We go to the gas station, we buy lots of water.
So you're calling Nick. Phone rings. Secretary picks up.
Lucy!
Oh, you again.
Well, that's for Nick then. Try to get information about where she is.
Listen, are you looking for Nick?
Well, I was kind of curious about something. Where are
100%.
Washington, D.C.? Yeah.
Yeah, where was
I'm afraid that he left on unexpected business last night.
Really? Do you happen to know what he left for?
He didn't tell me. He said it was state security.
I see.
Hang on a second. I think I helped arrange for his travel plans. Looks like New Mexico.
Very good. Do you happen to have a way that we can get in contact with him?
I don't, but he calls into the answering service every now and then. Did you want me to leave a message if he calls in?
How often does he call in?
Oh, I don't know. It's up to him.
Let him know that we've called. And we will call him back at the next opportunity, and we'll speak with you if you can if you can act as intermediary for us.
Very good. That's what I do for a living, sir.
Perhaps if we get a contact number where he is.
Sure. I'll see what I can find. Lucy.
Lucy, thank you so much for your help.
You are such a pleasant person to converse with, Lucy. Thank you for all this.
Well, this is weird. Normally there's only one person on a conversation at a time. You...
A special phone.
Okay, then. You take care. Have a nice day.
Au revoir.
Click.
Leave it, sir?
You get the impression you're really kind of creeping her out.
Love it. Perfect.
FBI or CIA or anything like that?
No.
All right, Rocket Boy, let's go.
I was going to say, well, the conversation really should go, he's creeping us out, too. That's okay. We keep him around.
All right, so there you are. You're in Abilene. What are you doing next?
I think it's time for us to take the Rocket Express to Roswell.
Okay, how do you propose you do that?
Buy a rocket?
We could buy a rocket, or we could... Wait, I think we have access to one.
Well, he's only got 2 hands, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of you.
I got a great idea. We're going to buy a piece of rope, and we're going to tie everybody together.
How long is the round trip? And can it just take 2 at a time? Just go, come back, go.
Oh, that's a fair point. Let's see.
A lot of you just gets in the way of my jamming.
You got about 250 miles. You're about 25% left, or 75% there. So, 250 miles, and I think you travel at what speed, Max?
Like 175 miles an hour or something like that.
I got you something.
I want to say you're 290. 290 or 225.
Well, actually, it should be. So, that's a good question. When it was remarkable, it was 225. When I upped it to incredible, I don't know if we looked at, did I fly? You said I flew faster, but I don't remember writing that down.
And what's the number on incredible?
37.
37. So, I think it's, let's say 370. Yeah, nice and easy.
370?
I won't be there too much after him if I take the bullet.
So, but I think wings may have a constraint. I don't know. There's going to come a point. But you haven't hit that point yet. So, Mike, we'll say you travel at 370 miles an hour. And if there's 250 there...
I have a significant amount of time where he goes to help.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes like concussion, like eyes bleeding, concussion jobs.
Am I going to get hurt doing this?
Ooh, you guys are going to have to figure that out, yeah. He might go...
Oh, wait, I have an answer. Sorry, sir.
Only if I got me.
You can tell him to slow down and start.
I don't know if he can slow down.
How many miles is it?
250 miles. And he goes at 370 an hour. So, 0.67. So, it takes him like 40 minutes to bring you there, and then 40 minutes to come back. So, it would be 80 minutes, one round trip. And then another 80 minutes on top of that.
No, he's not coming back.
Oh, for the third time, that's true. So 120 minutes, so 2 hours. He can get all of you there in 2 hours.
Yes, please.
If he doesn't tear us apart in the process.
I'll be fine.
We'll invent those G-Shock stickers.
My arm was disconnected on the other side.
Oh, you guys have quite a little time.
So you'll have a couple of considerations. One is just the G-Shock issue. The other is how the altitude issue. How high can Mike go before you will have trouble breathing? Andy the android is able to, his ability to breathe is not required, so he will have no problem with that.
You can go 15, that's about 35,000 feet.
Okay, let's take a step back there.
Mhm.
Can I get there through the line?
You think that you can at 290 miles an hour, but you're going to have to make lots of stops to see where the hell you
So
are.
I need to switch my powers. Okay.
You'll use a bunch of your powers, but let's say to be successful, so long as you don't have, we'll give you 5 rolls. As long as you do 3 greens out of 5 rolls, you're there. If you do 1 critical failure, then it's going to take you another 5 rolls.
If you screw up, you're lost on your own.
I'm just trying to think, is there a way that, like, Mike can take the boy, you can take the whisper, and I can just get there? Really, the question is, what do we rendezvous?
Well, I bring up the map on my phone.
Or you can all just hang out for the ride.
If we're separated, if we're separated, we can find each other, you know.
Well, we have GPS in this one.
The GPS satellite was not launched into orbit.
Yeah, but he might have the maps, though.
Oh, he probably still has the maps,
Yeah, but I need a place where there's electricity so I can come up.
but he's got the maps loaded in his databanks anyways.
Is there a way that you can sense where the electricity is going towards? Because I would think there'd be like a big
All electrons.
draw toward
You'll end up like
laboratories versus podunk.
He's got electrical detection. He can sense, in general, the source of large generators.
My concern is we're going to get there and I'm going to burn 5 or 6 hours and we're going to have an event that I need those powers for. If we buy a car and drive 60 miles an hour, it's 4 hours.
How much is a car?
You can get a car for maybe.
How much for a cat?
You can get like a beater. You can get a beater for like, I don't know, $100.
Imagine a beater nowadays. All the squeezing into beater nowadays.
Yeah.
Back then.
All right, let's get a car full up with gas.
Actually, no, we'll want something from like early 50s.
A brand new 1957 Bel Air was like $3,200 or something like that.
There you go.
We'll take that.
Is there a car dealership or a place you can buy a car in Abilene?
Well, as you're at the payphone, you are standing at the gas station. You see a couple of beaters in the back.
What year? Because we don't want one of those like 32 coupes.
They look like they're early 50s. They look like they've seen some wear and tear, though.
Hey, Max.
Who here is a mechanic?
Max.
When this thing breaks down,
Max.
Could you? Yes.
If we got in the car, could you make the car kind of go a little faster by getting behind and giving it a little push?
The only problem is
Maybe just keep it at like 75 to 100 miles an hour.
Like 70 is probably the most you want to do because
It's going to shake apart.
well, no. The problem back then was the tires. The tires would blow out at like night.
Hey, Max, make me a reason check. Green with a +3 shift.
Green with a +3 shift on reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. It's just-
My reason is
I don't think
It's just crazy enough to work.
Crazy enough to work.
the shift. Ooh, 81. That's well in the yellow. Oh, sorry, that's in the yellow.
Good. Max, you realize that if all the folks were sitting in a car, you could lift up the car and fly carrying the car.
Actually, Bob, I'm gonna be a spoil sport and tell you that in 1954, cars were way heavier than they are today.
Yeah, but you can carry 2 tons.
Yeah, you'd be okay.
Okay, so most cars back in the 50s weighed about 3,000 to 3,500 pounds.
Ah. Well, then that would be a challenge for you. Unless you were able to get rid of some of the heavy bits.
Like the engine.
I mean, we could strip some of the stuff out of the car, like the engine, if I'm gonna lift it and fly it. Do they have a car without an engine back there?
No, we leave this.
You'd have to ask the engine attendant, or you could go take a look if you wanted to. Although it is kind of in the back, you might be questioned if you walk back there. You do see an attendant sitting in a sort of behind a desk in the shade.
Yeah, so Bob, thanks to the wonders of the internet, the average car weight for a 1954 to 1956 Oldsmobile, the average Oldsmobile weighed about 3,500 to 4,200 pounds.
Well, that
I thought the problem was more about altitude and acceleration than carrying.
Come on, let's grab the car, let's rip out the engine, let's go.
But let me answer your question. So obviously it would look a little strange with a car flying through the air.
Yeah, no, we didn't
But
use the
out in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, it would have looked really strange if I was pushing the car from behind.
That's what I was does hit the gas. If we can push the car at 100 to around 75 to 100 miles an hour,
And then the tires,
we get there in a few hours.
and then the tires go off.
Good, Clark Flintstone. He's not outside the car, he's still in the car.
Nope.
He's just running.
He's rocketing it at
I'm
millions so he's car won't get there.
just thinking that we go to the nearest subbase and say, where are your nuclear weapons?
Where on the nuclear?
Because that'd go great in Texas in the 50s.
Well, I think you guys have a lot of good ideas. Ideas that you could probably work with. You just have to decide which one you want to try out.
All right. Is there a car?
Or we could just F and drive.
Let's just buy a car. Just get a car and drive it. It's 4 to 5 hours.
If it breaks down, we'll rock it and then go.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be there early afternoon.
All right. You speak with the attendant. How y'all doing? I got 2 items right now. One of them is from Jethro. Jethro told me that he's going to get me $500 at the end of the week. He says if he doesn't get me that $500, this car is mine, but I'll tell you right now, he's not going to get me that $500. So I got a 52 Olds, and I've got a 51 Cadillac. The Cadillac you might think is a better deal, but I'll let you know that that was Robert. Robert got in a bit of a problem with his ex-wife. She's an ex now. That's because she took his car. She ran it over the gorge. That vehicle, if it runs, it's only going to run for about 40 miles. I think that's a wise choice.
You like the most reliable car with the best tires.
Well, you got one choice then.
Wait a minute. What does it get for gas?
25 miles an hour. Everything has got 25 miles per gallon since the Model T.
Did they even calculate it?
They got 12 miles per gallon fill up.
It depends on the engine. I mean, a 357 isn't going to get us as much as a 2 flat 6. What's it got for
They didn't have unleaded gasoline back then either.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's a traditional Olds. I don't know the answer to that. You guys may know better than me what sort of engine is in there. I'm thinking of V8.
We'll need 8 maps. So we can find little places that have gas stations to put more gas in this vehicle.
Oh, of course, I'll give you a map. That'll come with the purchase. $300. You can take that off the lot.
How much
$250.
that difference is?
That's my good. Do you know how much that you're asking me for?
Negotiations have to stop somewhere.
You're from the big city, aren't you? I could tell from your accent.
$275.
Look, I said the price was $300. I'm not playing games.
Fill it up.
Thank you very much. I'll give you a free tank of gas. Go with that.
Oh, I'll say it was like 50 cents.
He fills up the tank. He washes the windows for you, checks the oil, all the standard.
Tire pressure.
This is all part of the service.
Actually, you know what? When's the last time? What a tire? How many miles does it have? How many miles on these tires?
The vehicle has 89,000 miles that you can see, and the tires seem to be well balanced. He checks those.
How about the wear?
Oh, the wear? They look fairly worn. I mean,
Throw on 4 new tires.
really?
Yes.
That's going to cost you another $25. All right, done and done. You're down to about $50 now of your $500, just so you know.
Is there a gold exchange in town? One shop or anything?
It's too small for that. You're actually lucky that you found a gas station that has a vehicle. All right, so now you have a vehicle.
Chris, we talked. I know we probably talked ourselves to that.
You got a vehicle, you got brand new tires, you got a full tank of gas,
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
you got a map.
Had fuzzy dice spin it.
You could be starting a new
The
trend.
license plate say fresh.
I want the suicide novel. Seriously.
It starts up with a roar that only an early stage 1950s Oldsmobile can create.
I actually. Oh, Jeff.
I'm voting Andy drive, really. He's not going to get bored and fall asleep.
That's true. The only challenge is his feet cannot reach the pedals.
I will drive the most consistent, best per miles per gallon.
And the only thing is the cop sees you and we're screwed.
I don't know if you want to burn it.
Dude, you have mind swap.
Dude, this is 57 in Western Texas.
Wait a minute, does he have a mind?
Don't let anybody.
Don't go with the cop.
Oh. So is it, there are currently counties in West Texas that are roughly the size of Rhode Island that have a population in triple digits. That's it.
All right, Andy, get us that.
There's areas in Montana.
You have to fashion some blocks for him, and he can reach the pedals. It is a stick shift, which many of you living in 2013 are not familiar with how to drive, but I think the Whisperer knows how to drive stick. Yeah, I bet you Max the tank probably knows how to drive stick as well.
Yes.
All right, so you take off down the highway. And
No radio stations because we're in the lower.
how fast do you want to be driving?
Wait a minute. What did you do? Can you sing any?
The speed limit is 70.
Prefer vocal control music.
I think you could.
I got some acapella vocal control.
Do some audio tube stuff.
I would think that Andy could ascertain by the scream of the engine and feel of the car the best speed at which to drive.
Sure.
To maximize the engine life, the engine, the gas mileage, etc.
I can vibrate things. Can I press something vibrating?
Yes, you can. Yeah. I have vibration control.
I think I have vibration ignition.
I have control.
So I can shake the car to pieces. But I can't keep it from shaking itself.
All right.
All right.
If I can find the frequency,
You have constructive versus destructive.
And we're about on to start the night now, an hour and a half.
Constructive amplifies the destructive decreases.
So you may want to scroll to the bottom right-hand corner of the map.
You have the mouse.
That's the constructive
I'm
destructive.
using the brown though tonight.
Proven not to exist.
No, it exists.
And to the right. And Mike, you could probably see this. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. I might recommend like a resolution of 40%, maybe 60%, something like that. And
I see the red line coming through.
Map to the original Fallout?
Mm.
I want to go to.
Okay, you drive for 1 hour. The car does not break down. It looks like you're going to be there in about maybe 5 or 6 hours at the rate that Andy is driving. You are noticing that you're about down to like 3/4 of a tank-ish. Keep going.
If we pass anywhere we can get gas, we will fill up.
All right, you do find a place. You find a place. You stop. You spend.
What's the price?
Oh, it's like
7 cents a gallon.
it's like 17 cents a gallon.
I saw 16 cents. We will not buy gas to you.
We fill up everywhere we can. We're not breaking down.
All right, very good.
8 cents if we just drive more.
So I assume Andy's driving for the next hour.
And he continues to be our driver.
Can you drink gas and then convert it?
I was thinking that. Drink Coke.
Good.
You convert gas.
You survive a second hour. Congratulations.
I could suck on the exhaust and convert it back into gas.
Actually, you probably could do that. Yeah.
You read it?
Oh,
Oh boy.
I rolled a 3. I am sorry to say
You're good.
that the car seems to make some terrible groaning noises. You see smoke start to come from the engine, and the vehicle stops and slows to a halt. You were in the middle of.
Did the temperature gauge go up too high?
It did not. Temperature gauge seems to say it's okay. Do you want to take a look under the hood?
Take a look.
Carefully opening the radiator caps to not burn ourselves.
Do any of you have mechanics as a?
I took that talent.
Nope.
I'm an engineer.
You've got engineering? All right,
Yep.
Max is the closest then. Max, you can take whatever, either intuition or reason, whatever mental skill is the highest.
Okay.
And then with your engineering, give it a shift of +1. And if you can get a yellow or a red, you might be able to get this thing going for a little bit longer.
Okay. So a yellow or red. So I need. Okay. I need at least.
Do you want to put any karma into this roll?
Oh. Wait. 72. 72 puts me in the yellow.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, you manage to get the car running again. You shout, "Get in, get in!" I don't know how long it's going to last. And the vehicle begins moving. Congratulations. And you manage to drive all the way in to just on the outskirts of Roswell, New Mexico.
All right, guys. Well, it's fun tonight. We'll end here.
How do you get more light? Yes.
And you just barely manage to get your vehicle into a parking lot when it finally takes its last breath.
It's just like when the Blues Brothers park the car and it pretty much explodes right in front of them.
That's exactly right.
We parked it in the Cook County Assessor's office.
There is no miracle that you can now perform to get that vehicle to run again.
Oh, that's okay. As long as the neutral still works.
Now, it's pretty good timing. It does happen to be closer to about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You've been driving through the desert. You're kind of hungry. You're very thirsty, and there's a diner.
Guys, before we do anything, we should call Lucy. Okay, stick.
Call your girlfriend.
I call Lucy.
In the sky with them.
Hello?
Hey, Lucy!
Oh, God. Hello?
Have you heard anything from Mr. Fury?
Mr. Worthington, I have not yet received a message from Mr. Fury, but I do have written down here a message to contact him, or have him leave a message for me with contact information for you. As soon as I get that information, I will be sure to pass it along.
Call you back. What time? What?
The office.
Time is it there? And what time do you leave?
The office closes at 7 o'clock tonight, sir, although I am staying a little bit later for this request. You know right now it's 3 o'clock Texas time, so it's closer to like 5 or 6 her time.
We know Lucy's last name.
Thank you, Al.
Henderson.
I will try to call you just before 7 so that you can leave on
I love
time.
how he's like.
Okay, very good.
On the spot.
Thank you.
I actually have a list of names now. I go to there's a database, there's a government database. There's websites you can just randomly say, give me 100, give me 50 with names. Boom. I pasted it there. I don't have to worry about names anymore.
That way, every time we say what's their names, and we say we don't have to go. I don't know, meaning we don't have to know, or everybody gets a name we don't know who's appointment is.
Exactly. That's why I do it.
So you may want to go, Mike, if you're watching this, 70%, maybe 70 or even 80%.
For the diner?
Yes.
Is anybody else nervous about the grid?
Is there any way to get the pictures of like you, Bob, and me and Josh off the map?
I would. Oh, you can make those icons smaller, Mike. You got them as big blocks right now. So what you do is click on the chat window, and there's a picture of a gear. It says My Settings. It's
Yep.
And if you go there and then scroll down, you see where it says Player Avatar Size, and there's a drop-down menu there.
Player avatar.
You got to scroll down a bit. There's some check boxes.
Enable chat avatars, advanced die.
Right underneath, right underneath enable chat avatars. There's a.
Yep.
It says
Names only.
player avatar size,
Yep.
and then change that to names only,
Got it.
and that should shrink it quite a bit.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Sorry, we should have told you that sooner. Okay, so you're just outside, and you are looking at a traditional 1950s diner. This one might look actually a little bit higher scale. It's certainly more populated than the one that you attended previously. There's a lot of traffic out front. You can see vehicles, maybe a couple of cop cars and recreational vehicles.
How big is Roswell?
Roswell, New Mexico?
Is that where we are now?
You are on the outskirts of Roswell, New Mexico. Yeah.
Can we do an observation check to see if anything looks unusual?
Sure. Is there anything specific you're looking for?
Cars that maybe just shouldn't be there, newer cars, stuff that just doesn't fit in.
If you want to roll me an intuition check.
I mean, you know, they're looking for it.
Yeah, if you guys like to roll some dice on intuition.
Yeah, we should actually keep an eye out for people looking for us. Okay, 72.
Now that Flo back at the old diner told everybody where we are, where we're
I
going.
have 41.
Yeah, somebody wasn't being very good about being covert. That's a good point.
I was thinking maybe we could bribe her to not.
Yellowish word. I got yellow.
Really? Nice. So high yellow.
91.
And we got, okay, so you're feeling very alert after staring at the featureless wasteland of the desert. And
Look at all this stuff.
nothing looks out of place. The vehicles all look like they're the appropriate time. You don't notice any vehicles that look familiar, you know, like they might have been following you from where you were. It just looks like a diner with cars parked out front. Nothing out of its element, no technology that seems advanced, nothing like that.
We didn't accidentally.
I was thinking about more rented cars, cars that just don't fit the scene.
They all look dusty and
Large black unmarked vans.
nothing like that.
Black police helicopters.
And I'm not acting like a genie where if you don't say it, I won't tell you.
Yeah.
I'm taking into account like anything that would look weird, but it looks all in order. Yeah.
Oh, she says something.
You do notice at the top of the diner, there's an air conditioning unit plugged in, so you can make the reasonable assumption that there might be AC, which is a relatively rare thing.
It's cool inside.
After hours in the desert, I'll take you out some water.
Oh, you were in the desert so long, you lost your accent.
I lost my accent in the
That's a
desert.
Perrier.
With a spritz of lemon.
I'm gonna stay outside.
You're going to stay outside. Okay, that's fair.
I'll let these guys go inside.
I'll wait with my dad.
Here.
Okay, so you guys are going to stay in the parking lot.
No,
No.
That's fine.
all right, I'm never going to get. You with me, Max? Let's go get a drink and some food.
I'm hungry.
You don't need
Max is hungry again.
Max knows hungry.
Okay, so Max and the nerd are going inside the diner, and Brian Barrett is as well, wrapped up. Okay, very good. So you walk around the side, and you move yourselves.
Is there a one-eyed black man in there?
No, but you do walk in, and what you can tell is that you see several people at various states of the middle of their meals. Some of them are wearing military fatigues. You do see a police officer. He's at the counter. He's eating an omelet. There's a man. He's wearing a white lab suit. He's reading a newspaper, but he's also got this magazine next to it, next to the paper.
Does it have a character with a kid with big ears and like big smile and a captain print?
Roll me an intuition check.
I'll roll for that.
Weird science.
Uh, 8, 48.
48.
40 is green, just barely a green.
You notice that it is astounding stories. Stories of science fiction. The man is reading some sort of sci-fi short story magazine. This is
This is early nerd.
and in fact, if you... Oh, is it Black Korea? Can you
No,
see?
we gotta adjust it.
That is what the guy in the white quasi-lab coat, who's reading the newspaper and has a science fiction magazine, that's kind of what he looks like.
It's not Oppenheimer.
I was just saying, is that Oppenheimer?
Mm.
Hey, Andy. Who's that?
I think
He's outside. He's with his dad.
I peek through the windows and run a cross-reference with the photos that I have in my databank
Mhm.
against people. That is not. That could be Hugh Everett III.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
you make a solid 98% probability confirmation that that might be Hugh Everett III.
Okay, we never got the skinny on Hugh Everett III. We were just
Hugh Everett III.
You're outside the parking lot.
Man, talk to me.
I see him. I think we should go inside.
We go inside.
So you guys are going inside. Okay.
What is that? Anything I get? Go off the beat. Fantastic. You gonna know something I think? That's not.
If I don't see it, don't.
Do I tell that to my client?
when was it due?
I think I recognize somebody in there. And we should go inside.
You guys go in. As you walk
You're
in,
not in danger.
a waitress.
Circle of trust.
You're going to need to scroll down on your screen so you can see.
Did they get seated yet?
The waitress approaches all of you collectively now that you're all together, and she says, "Hey there, hon. Where'd you like to sit? We've got some spots."
I say, Chris, I say we play this like we're a separate group.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, we'll take the quiet spot in the front of the three.
Okay. So we've got Josh the nerd
Gotta keep Brian out of fight.
with
Behind plant.
Brian behind the plant, and then Max, you're sitting there. So you guys are located at this table here.
You know what though? I can see the door. Oh no, wait, that's not me. I can't.
They're back into the door.
So she seats you, and then she says, "I'll be right with you. You can take here's some menus for you to look at." And then she goes back up to
Can we sit at the bar?
the Whisperer and the Android. Hi there. Where would you like to sit?
What was that guy say?
I'm gonna look at my son.
As
and say,
if you look, you can see he's in the white lab coat. He's sitting next to the police officer, eating at the counter.
Let's go sit at the counter.
would you like to sit at the counter?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's do.
I'll sit right next to him.
Okay. So she starts to walk, and you follow her to the counter. As she walks towards there, this guy here, who I'm moving left and right,
Okay.
he kind of grabs at her arm and says, "Hey there, darling. Come on over here." And she shakes him off and says, "Leave me alone, Stanley." Stanley is a really big-looking guy.
Does he write comics?
He's got dog tags, so he might be military, although he's kind of dressed right now in civilian clothing. And she kind of rolls her eyes and says, "Come follow me." And she takes you to the counter, and Andy, you want to sit right to the left of the guy wearing the white. So that's where she sits you. She says, "Here's some menus. I'll be back shortly. Thanks."
After seeing them sit down, I say, check. Memory, you got this thing on here?
And, I kick my power in so everybody can
Communicate?
communicate.
All right, scratch off a usage.
And
So, Bob, when we walked in there, I noticed there were 3 cop cars in the parking lot. How many cops are actually inside the building?
Right now, it seems like there is just one officer at the counter eating his omelet.
The other guy's in the job.
That still leaves one
Okay.
person unaccounted for.
This is the combination police station diner. I mean, Roswell wasn't that big back then, so...
This is the map Bob found.
Any places that serve donuts are also sort of an honorary police station in my book.
They're honorary police station, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
That's very observant, though. That's a good catch, Mike. Okay, so the waitress goes back to the table that has the nerd, Brian Baird, and Max, and she says, "Hey there, long day. I'm so sorry about that. What can we get for you?"
Do we have menus?
You do. Standard diner
What
food.
time is it?
You're looking at about 4 o'clock, 4:30.
So it's dinner time.
Oh, we done it.
early bird.
Max orders 5 cheeseburgers, 3 large orders of fries, an onion ring, and 2 chocolate malts.
Oh my. Boy, that's quite an appetite. That's even more than Stanley over there. She smiles. She says, "No problem. And for you, sirs?"
I'll have a salad with a scuba tuna fit. Never mind. I'll have the pork roast special, the roast pork special.
Very good. Excellent choice. Oh, and tall, dark, and handsome. What will you be having?
Pitcher of water.
Pitcher of water. Got it.
Meatloaf, vegetables, some of this water.
Very good. I'll be back shortly.
Steak raw.
As she walks to go past the counter, the guy Stanley once again grabs her and says, Come on, show a little love."
Not a problem.
Oh, boy.
And
Goated.
she pushes him and says, "Leave me alone, Stanley." And she keeps on walking. And as she walks past, the officer stops eating his oatmeal, his eggs.
Stanley just a large dog. Sorry.
He's sitting at this table here. And they seem to be having some words. Now we go to Whisperer and Android. What do you guys want to do?
Hey, mister, are you a doctor?
He glances up. You're speaking to the fellow with the glasses on the right-hand side? Yes. He glances up and looks around and then sees you sitting next to him. "Oh, hello, I didn't even see you there. How are you, little boy?"
Good. My name's Andy.
"Why, I'm Everett. It's very nice to meet you. I'm a doctor, sure, but not the medical doctor, not the sort that you're familiar with. Oh, no.
No, what are you?
I'm
a scientist then?
I'm not an MD. I guess they call me a PhD.
Oh, I'm just a genius physicist, that's all.
He grins, and he goes back to reading his newspaper.
Yeah, well, you guys, I got you tuned in.
Okay.
What's that?
What's he eating?
It looks like a big, fat hamburger and fries. And he's got a shake, and it looks like he's got at least 3 glasses of Coke that he's already had. And you're not sure, but you think this, because the hamburger looks completely untouched, but you see the remnants of a previous hamburger prior to that. This looks like a man who enjoys his food. Did you need to have a discussion amongst yourselves?
We're listening right now. Obviously, this has been done for a reason, so we're just going to listen.
So you don't study medicine then?
Oh, no. No, not that sort of medicine. I study the earth. I study science and what happens when things get very, very tiny and how things work. You should stay in school. Maybe one day you'll figure it out, too. You could be a scientist someday.
My dad was telling me about electrons and stuff.
He looks over to the Whisperer. "Oh, excuse me. Nice to meet you. How are you?"
Oh, pleasure. Is my son bothering you?
"No, not at all. I admire an inquisitive mind."
He's top of his class, a brilliant kid, and I can't even keep him with enough books to keep him satisfied. All he wants to do is science, 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 and I don't care about that sort of stuff. I'm a salesman myself, but he enjoys it. If you tell him anything to keep him quiet while I eat, I'll be more than happy.
Well, I'll tell you, you make sure that you encourage that son of yours. I mean, I just graduated Princeton last year, and I'll tell you, it was very rewarding.
Cigarettes are the...
Yeah, really. By the way, that picture of Everett is a picture of his Princeton graduation picture taken in 1956.
Wait, seriously? You thought that, like, he's all, like, receiving hair and shit, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll show you a picture of him again.
He graduated with his PhD.
Oh, okay, so he could have been, like...
Oh, he didn't graduate college. He got his PhD.
To the late 20s.
Okay.
But if you scroll up, you can see a picture of Hugh Everett III.
Probably in his 30s.
Yeah.
I think he was...
I think he died early.
He died at 51 in the
like the 80s. Right?
in the 80s. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
he died in 1982.
is. Are you looking him up on Wikipedia there, Mike?
Yeah.
Who is he?
You have to make sure only Andy knows this information. There's a lot of, just so you know, there's a lot of game information in there. You may have noticed where he works right now and what he's doing and what projects he's on. That is all information that only Andy knows right now.
Okay, I will make sure not to bring any of it up then.
Okay, but it is relevant. He's this is where real life mixes with fiction.
Yeah, no, I probably shouldn't have read that.
Let's keep him talking for a little while. We're going to just some note off that thing. We're keeping him talking so Andy can study his voice.
Oh.
In case we needed to get
Do
in.
you study microscopic things, like real small, like bacteria and stuff?
No, my field was something called quantum physics. It really had to deal with just how things worked and predicting what would happen if we knew how things work. If we could figure out and break things down to a small enough level and know how those little things work, then we can also predict how large things would work as well. That's what I do.
We're just driving through town, but I heard there's a big science place here.
A big science place. Oh, you must mean Sandia Laboratory. Oh, well, that is a lovely place, but I think you're going to have to get a PhD to be able to get a tour of that facility.
And don't ask him. We don't want to. You don't even ask again for a tour. This gentleman is busy enough to go for. He doesn't want to show us around.
No, I admire his curiosity.
You yourself as a product. You might need that.
That's what we'd have to question.
I certainly do admire his intelligence and his curiosity. It's refreshing to see, that's for sure.
I would ask him something. I tell you, this boy is I don't know half the things he's studying in school, and he does a lot of research. Ask him something. This kid is unbelievable.
Huh. Well, do you know the colors of the rainbow?
I do, and I know they're different colors because of their wavelengths.
Oh, very good. How old are you, anyways?
10.
Not bad.
Minus.
So you're -5?
Well, you make sure that you study your maths now. That's very important. You should know things like the square root of 36.
I do.
That's good. Oh, very good. Well done. Well, you make sure that you know the harder stuff, too, like the square root of 1024. Use your calculator on that one. I don't know that one either. I just threw that one at you.
There's somebody watching this YouTube video going, "It's 37! It's 37! When did they know it?"
Well, that's sort of is binary like a thing now? I know computers have been invented.
Sure. I'm sure they're right on.
I tell you, I don't want to impose on you, but he would just absolutely go crazy.
Hey! All of a sudden, you look towards the center, and you see where the cop is with Stanley. And Stanley is pushing the officer. The officer has fallen to the ground. And Stanley is kind of glowing a weird reddish color. Make me an energy detection check, nerd.
6,000.
Electricity detection. Do any of you have energy? Do you have energy detection?
No, Josh is.
Josh is, okay.
I just have a mission.
Oh, you emit a lot.
Only
Fast
94.
energy?
40.
Oh.
For an excellent. That's not going to work so good.
That's not bad.
I missed by 1.
What is it? It's not even green?
What was that?
It's not even green?
If I had rolled a 41, it would be green.
The glow is apparent.
Oh yeah, it's visible and obvious, and it's getting brighter.
Okay, shoot him in the back of the head.
And the officer kind of gets up off the ground, and he says,
Or we'll have his brother climb up into the air.
"What the hell do you think you're doing?" And he goes over to put a hand on Stanley, and then he goes, "Ah!" And you can see it's quite clear. The skin on his hand is burnt. It's like he's just suffered third-degree burns on his hand.
Burn or heat burn?
You're starting to feel the room get very warm. Make me one intuition check. Who has the Omni right now? Who's carrying the time travel device? That's you? All right.
I had it. I'm keeping it.
You know what? You're the doctor. No, wait, you're not. But
27.
you're British, and they're like doctors. So.
What was it? Intuition?
Intuition.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. You do notice...
I rolled 100 before.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's try the other set of dice now.
So you don't...
How much gas is needed home to home?
You think you hear a vibrating. I'm assuming you carry it in your pocket. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
You feel like some vibration going on in your pocket.
All right, so I pick it out and look at it.
The green lights are flashing. The green lights are flashing, and they seem to be flashing faster and faster. All right, everybody gets one move. We'll start with Max the Tank. What are you doing right now?
Where was the commotion? Was by the big guy and the cop, right?
That's right, exactly correct.
I'm going to...
Right here.
Okay. And where am I sitting?
You're sitting right here.
Okay. I just stand up
Okay.
and step forward towards the big guy's table who's arguing with the cop.
Okay, you step forward. Do you want to get next to him? Or stand, like, have the table between the two of you?
The table between the two of us is good for right now.
All right. You're just watching right now? Are you saying anything?
No.
All right.
I'm just watching, waiting for him to make some sort of incredibly stupid move so I can pounce on him.
You can feel heat starting to get, like, radiating. And in fact, you're wondering now, even if the heat level would be enough, like a normal human may not be able to stand as close as you are. The cop is starting to step backwards. Next up, the nerd.
I'm going to say, folks, there seems to be something odd going on. I think it would be best if everybody exited nice and orderly very quickly.
Well, I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't understand you, no accent. Sorry.
What you mean? I'm in Roswell. I'm trying to do my English, my American accent.
Several people start to stand up. It seems like your words have some weight.
I also reach into my pocket at the same time and take out one of the metal balls I bought to use as a slingshot.
Okay.
Prepare to charge.
Very good. Now we go to Brian Baird.
I want to lift his legs up in the air in such a fashion that his head will smack on the ground.
You're gonna...
Out of the table?
With telekinesis.
Oh, okay. All right.
Out of the table, right.
You need to make me a telekinesis roll.
Yes, he will. Destroy the back of his chair.
By the way, you just noticed the table is starting to smolder.
Oh, he's going.
There's like wisps of smoke coming from the table.
Yeah, I want to get closer, but I moved toward the door too, by the way.
Okay. We can get
Tell
you...
everybody where to go.
Yeah, out this way.
Guiding people to safety.
So about there, right, nerd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone this way. Or that way.
Oh, telekinesis. There we go.
How would you calm him down?
Is there a sprinkler system?
That's what I'm trying to knock.
Is there a sprinkler system?
You don't see one. Fire codes weren't.
It's
Yeah.
They're all smoking in there.
I know, right?
Everybody's smoking, that's true. Ashtrays on every table.
90. It rolled over to a 90.
90.
And I have a criminal. Is that a red?
I'm not sure.
No, that is... Oh, that is he just barely a red.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It is 1 point away from red.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Okay, so what's the number, numeric power?
36.
You've done double damage, so you've done a total of 70 points of damage to the guy. No, he's big.
Okay,
it's not going to kill him.
My goal was to lift him up so that his head fell down and hit the floor.
Gotcha.
So I, make a call shot, if you will.
You nailed him. He's down, he's prone on the ground, but he's still conscious. And now, all of a sudden, the officer's clothes catch on fire. And Max Tank, you're pretty sure that if you did not have body resistance right now, you would be on fire as well. Whatever the damage is that's outputting from this person's body is not enough to break your body resistance, but it's getting pretty bad. And the table just bursts into flames now. Andy, oh, go ahead, Max.
I was going to say, do I have the ability to get to the police officer to try to put his clothes out before they burn him?
You will when your turn comes up next.
Okay.
Andy the android, you're up.
I go over and I grab the cop and start pushing him.
Okay.
And as I do that, I suck all the oxygen away from him as fast as I can to put his clothes out so they stop burning.
Nice. Go ahead and make me the... that's a great idea. That's really awesome.
I'll be here.
He's doing okay with his android powers. Yellow, success. You put out the fire, not only on the officer, but the table as well. But you're feeling significant heat now.
And I push him towards the...
and you push the officer? Yep.
I grab him right there, so I grab him and help walk him up.
Okay. You take 10 points of damage because the heat is so intense right now.
And I also say, Everett, get out of here. All right, scientists, get out of here. he did say Everett.
Yeah. He has a name
Doctor
badge.
guy.
He didn't take off his name badge either, though.
Whisper.
Now
I'm going to mind transfer into the gentleman who's burning everybody.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run.
The wrong way.
Far away.
Into the kitchen where all the sink water is.
Yes, possibly correct.
Make me a check. It should be a green.
I will.
He's mighty distracted. He's taking a bump on the noggin.
I don't know. German. 70.
70. Is that green?
I have a clue, Bob.
Oh, what's your what's your power level? What's the rank?
My mind is 26, I believe.
It's remarkable 26.
Yes.
70 will put you.
Crazy.
Oh, in the yellow, just barely in the yellow. So we'll do his psyche check, which he's going to do with a -3 shifts because he's banged up and half unconscious, and he doesn't succeed.
Yeah, of course he does not.
You find yourself transposed into the body of a large, sturdy man. Your head aches. You're on the floor, and you feel excruciating pain. Your insides are on fire. It is horrible, horrible pain, and you can feel the equivalent of an ocean of energy just building up inside of you, and you realize that there's no way you can control this. In fact, you feel fairly certain. Paramedics and EMTs, often when they transport a patient who's in real trouble, the patient will say, "I think I'm going to die." Whisperer, you think you're going to die. 5, 4.
I jump back into my body. I
3.
jump back into my body.
You're back in your body.
I tell everybody to get out and duck.
2.
We all jump behind
1.
The back.
There is a massive, and I mean massive,
Is there any
atomic level explosion.
Oh, end game.
End of the game.
Only Max.